Genie grind and watch him get rich, huh? Remember when I said I hit a lick, huh? I don't really wanna fuck the bitch, what? Willie went and made another hit, okay, like Prada on my motherfucking kid, huh? Louis on my motherfucking hip, huh? Curry how I dunk, no switch, hey, fucker gonna fuck that bitch, hey, if you ain't gon' fuck with me, you a dumb fuck, put up a hit but feel like one punch, look at my bank and I'm getting dumb rich, and I'm gonna count it up till 100,
Hello world, I'm What If Study, and today we are finishing, What If Deku Was, Betrayed. Part 8? No, Part 6. Deku. We get a little bit of a flashback while Deku is being tortured by the state's #1 torturer, where she's able to give people the quirk of, she's able to heal people. She's a terrifying person. She keeps them in what's called the black box. This black box is usually put on a face or a ligament, and it tears it to shreds, causing the maximum pain that is possible. It's part of her quirk, which allows her to touch any ligament and basically cause the maximum, just cause it to think that it's being tortured immediately. While this is going on, Deku's laughing almost, because this is still nothing compared to what he's been through. But it does her touch does remind him of the last time he had felt a woman's touch. It was when he was in the hospital again, after reawakening his powers and defeating the bear. He had seen her once more. He had finally figured out how to use the power Gluttony gave him. He visited her while she was asleep and put his hand onto her heart. Tried his hardest to take away her quirk. Every single inch of it, he tried to suck it up into his soul, but it was quite the strong and one of the most powerful quirks that he's ever seen. It was too bad that she might die from this. There's about a 50% chance. He puts up his hand onto the bed sheets. He says, "Pride, please. I hope I can trust you to protect her." Pride comes out and nods and looks down to, her beautiful face, kind of blushing. He says, "Oh yes, definitely. I'll try my best." Good. This betrayal from her own quirk must have been hard for her. We return back to present time, where Deku is looming over Uraka, her absolutely dumbfounded face not fitting the current situation she might be in. "If anything, you should be running, Uraka." She just stands there staring. She's not even looking at the rest of his body. All she's staring at is that mask. She knows it from somewhere. While they're doing this, one of the guards rises up his gun and pops a cap right into one of the other guards, exploding his brain out into the wall behind him. Freaking Best Genius stops this as he freezes the person in place, saying, "Stop it! This isn't right. You shouldn't be killing any of them." Lust transforms from being this, pretending to be this guard, and transforms back into Toga, holding the gun at her side, saying, "Oh, you're no fun. Come on. They're going to tell the gods anyways." "Tell them what?" "Oh, you're such a troublemaker." As then he already had it strung up all of the guards, as he says, "They can't do anything, okay? We should just leave." Deku. As he looks over to see Deku just face to face with Uraka. "Wait a second. Do you recognize this face?" He picks up his hand and brings it to the mask as he slowly crosses it down, first from the top. It the instant burn marks showing to her. The pain of taking it off is not as much as the gratitude that he gains from showing her what is the cost of her actions. What is that you? Oh. Now. Toga's, Deku just kind of lifts his head back up as this sort of pressure that she was feeling is now collapses her down to her legs. She looks back, she can't even look at him anymore as she starts to feel what had happened, what all of this means. He puts back on the mask and says, "All right, now, are the bombs set?" As all of the rest of the sins are just like, "What are you doing? This is your chance. She's right there. Wasn't you doing this all for just murdering them?" As he says, "I said revenge. And right now, that's the worst I can do to her." "You've got to be kidding me." Wrath pushes Gluttony out of the way with one hand as he says, "You have gone this far to just back out now?" As he says, "I'm not going to murder her. Leaving her alone to dread her life will be worse for punishment." "Fine. But when you see the rest of the class, you better not hesitate." As he picks up his machete that had been shot into the ground when he had released it, it had coursed into the ground. Wrath picks it up and puts it into Deku's hands, shoving him a little bit with it. "And your new quirk, use it well." As they all vanish and Deku continues along, two explosions are heard as several blocks of enemies are released from the jail. Much of Class 1A is now in battle with the enemy, as all of the villains that are now being released are just wreaking havoc among all of the prison, letting out some of the other inmates. Although Deku made sure to not release someone too bad. Maybe one. He nods to Best Jeanist as Jeanist pulls one of the strings, unlocking the gate to one of the strongest villains that was locked up there at the time. Blood Rain. His ability was to control blood. As one of the guards looks back and then instantly gets his body exploded as all of the blood starts to swarm in the air above him. Blood Rain, this sort of drenched down man. His coat cannot be taken off as it's sealed to his skin through blood contact. He doesn't have a devilish face, but it's clouded. It seems to be shapen to whatever he likes. This perfect face that's been crafted. It's almost freakishly good. The looks that kill, they call him. As he starts bashing throughout all of the prison, just killing whoever's in his way. As then he meets Class 1A. As Class 1A is on the left sector, Deku and Best Jeanist and his squad are all on the right. As they can see them from there's glass that impairs them from going over to the other side. However, they still have shadows over there. Deku sees, All Might protecting all of Class 1A, as then he tags into the shadows of Best Jeanist, emerging out right next to, Ida. You raised your hand that day. Was it something else that you wanted to say to Ida? As he says, "What the hell?" As he barely gets any time to react before a machete is thrown straight towards his face. However, All Might immediately blocks it with one arm as it sinks far into his skin. All Might grits his teeth and he says, "Who the hell? Damn you, villain! Oh, stop picking on the class!" They're just children! Murderers. Kids. Children, you call them. I'd call them murderers. As All Might throws Deku back with the force of his left arm. However, his left, Deku's blown back out of the glass as all of it shatters as he falls out into the overall around prison that's on the grounds. As all of the prison break starts to break out into there too. All of the guards are defeated as they all turns towards Deku. Deku says, "Oh, I see. So you want to play, villains. If it was... Well, you don't know. If it was by my order, all of you would have been dead before you got into this system." One immediately charges at him with a made-up, stabbing tool. As then he grabs onto the guy's face, plowing him into the ground and then holstering him up. As his quirk sort of activates, as he stabs Deku multiple times in the chest. However, when he looks down to see that it barely even affected him, the jacket was actually the only thing penetrated. As then the guy, Deku uses the power to bring back the machete, and it slices straight through the guy's head. And as he releases the guy's face, and he picks up the machete out of his skull. "I'm guessing that was the strongest guy in the yard, then." He cleans off his machete with his left arm. "So who else wants it?" All the rest of the villains hesitate and take a step back, and then a gigantic explosion is heard from the other side. He can sense it, this purity. Yep. This is where the real battle begins. As All Might just charges straight at Deku with an elbow to the face, as Deku barely even blocks this. However, he's sent flying back, barely able to keep his knees upright, and then he's immediately uppercutted, hitting the machete out of his hands and off to the side. As All Might says, "You're pretty tough for a villain. You talk too much for a hero." As then he picks up the machete and throws it at All Might as he says, "Really? You know how slow that..." As it stabs into his left arm, he falls down onto his knee. As then he says, "For a villain, you're quite..." And then he says, "Finish the sentence." As Deku teleports in behind him, using his own shadow from a tree that he had been knocked into. He teleports right behind All Might. All Might is barely able to act before Deku punches the machete that was already inside of his left arm. He is thrown back a little bit as he gains some distance and takes out the machete inside of his arm that had sunken deep and hitting his bone. This guy. All Might, do you accept? As, Deku starts walking forward. With this much power, why you could have had the power to kill them. Why did you let me block it? You see, I am after revenge. I wish to make every single one in Class 1A suffer as I did. And it hurts right now to speak, but it's worth it. After all, you can solve this right now by defeating me. But that's right, but I can't, isn't that right, villain? You shouldn't underestimate me. As Deku says, I don't underestimate you. You've seen my power. I can teleport to any person as long as I have a shadow. I can kill anyone in Class 1A right now. They will pay for their sins right after I kill you. No, I can't accept defeat that easily. You can't harm them. What have they done? You seriously don't even recognize me. Not by my voice, but by the burns. when you took away my quirk, when you took it for yourself, that is a sin in all of itself, all in its own. Tell me, who did you give it to? Why did you take it away? No way. What are you? Deku just start walking towards him as he says, "Take a guess." You son of a... As then he like throws the machete straight to the side of All Might. The sheer weight kind of like courses right next to his head as he was trying to block it. However, Deku purposely missed so that he can run at him while recalling it back. And then he attempts to punch the middle center of All Might. However, All Might catches his fist, and then the machete comes back as, you know, he kind of uses this and loops All Might back around to meet the machete in the middle of the air. However, All Might releases a lot of his power and just goes Detroit Smash! As then he kind of like punches Deku in the stomach, throwing him far, far away. As he runs along the ground, his body is just like flipping and flipping and flipping until he bashes into the you know, school, into the prison's side place, which is made to basically take enough that like a supervillain could not get into it, like exploded. So the fact that he had made a mold of himself inside of it is just telling you how much this power All Might had released during this. All Might says, "That had to kill him. My flames, they were already dying. But is that who I think it is? It can't be. No." As Deku just kind of gets back up, All Might jumps up into the air and then smashes down. "I must know. Are you really him? Your successor in flesh and bone. By the way, my lips are sealed. I'm powering through this right now, since this pain means nothing to me anymore, compared to what you have done to me. I'm sorry. Sorry isn't good enough anymore. You will have to pay with your life, and they will all have to pay with their lives." And then all the sins kind of get this thought of, why did he hesitate then to kill Uraraka? As then, you know, he looks up to All Might right in the eyes. He slowly takes off the mask. "Look upon your successor, great All Might, and see what you have done to him. Look at me!" As All Might kind of like forces his neck back around to see the horrifying thing that has happened to Deku's face. I mean, the fact that Deku is just like completely burnt. His face is rearranged. He looks completely deranged as his eye pupils have been burned too, so that they're almost a red tint with fire in his eyes. As he puts the, All Might, of course, it comes back to All Might. He feels nothing but regret, young Deku. Do not worry about that. I'm not looking for pity anymore. I am looking for something, a semblance of revenge. Someone must die before this ends. I will not stop. I will not end. As Wrath is like, yes. Now take his life. Deku looks up to All Might. As All Might shrivels back down to his regular form. Young Deku. Young Deku. I will no longer say I'm sorry. I will only allow you to take mine, so that all of Class 1A may live. Please, As you kill me, allow them to live. Quit this path of revenge. Finish all of your anger. I can feel it. My bones. It's terrifying. But Deku, you must come back to them. You must save them. Everyone. Deku just looks up to him, the burning hatred in his heart as all of the sins say, kill, 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 kill. This very intense moment as he walks up to All Might, all of the prison guards and people just watching that battle. I mean, Deku being thrown away. Deku says, I will not take it for free. Fight me! Do it now. Do it. Punch me as hard as you can. I want you to go out as a hero, he whispers into the ear of All Might. Young Deku, I gave up being a hero the day that I let you go in there. Deku takes out his machete and puts his hand around All Might's arm, draws him closely as he sticks the machete to his chest and slowly releases it throughout the body as he doesn't go limp immediately, no. The struggle is none, but the body is warm, and as the blood courses down to his hand, it's still warm somehow. It had soaked up his suit, gotten him all dirty. But now, the cleansing, this blood was clean. The blood that had cursed him for so long had now been cleaned off by the blood of the greatest hero. He looks down to see All Might smile one last time. As he puts his head on All Might's shoulder. Thank you. He unsheathes his machete slowly as the tip ticks on his cloak. All Might slowly falls down to the ground. His head rests sideways to him, to his actual body, as his arms collapse straight down onto his body. His hands collapsed into each other. He slept there peacefully, without a sound. And yet, Deku felt nothing but peace. Was this? He has now repaid the debt. My rage, my wrath, I had sworn it by his death. It's gone now. It's all gone. No, there's still something. That hate. To see Uraka's face again. To see all those quacked bastards. Given everything, something still holds me. A girl walks into view to his left as he sits there on his knees looking up to the sky. A light drizzle comes over. The calm storm now in the distance. A girl comes over and puts her hand on his elbow, picking him back up to his feet. This girl of pure white.